Okay, today is Tuesday. It's 4:54 a.m. It is December 23rd, 2025. It's a few days before Christmas, and I've been on this journey for 5 long years. Here's something that is embarrassing, okay? Here's something that is very, very embarrassing. Here's something that is very, very embarrassing, okay? Here's something that is extremely, extremely embarrassing. I want to capture this. I want to capture this moment. I want to capture this moment as I have been on this journey. I have literally traded tens of thousands of times. I have traded tens of thousands of times, but I never asked myself this question. How sure are you of your trade? Because I've never back tested. For 5 years, 5 years I've been giving money away for 5 years, but I never asked this question of myself until today. It wasn't really a question either. It's a conclusion. It's a conclusion that I uh, it's a conclusion. If I belong to like a club or something, this type of question would obviously have been answered already, right? I obviously an inquiring mind would know what trading is about, and I would ask this question. I would post I would pose this question to somebody who knows what's going on. Is this that it's quite embarrassing because I've been trading like tens of thousands of times, and only now I'm beginning to I'm like I'm I'm I realized that. See, okay, so I'm down to like 2%. Okay, I'm down to 2% because so I lost one, and it triggered a catastrophic event to occur that caused me to lose 2 more percent. All right, and so then, but I was lucky. I was able to catch myself, so I caught myself. So, um, so then I thought to myself, what if I okay, so I concluded this. I concluded that uh because I was looking at this, I was trying to be very careful. I was trying to be very careful about my entry. So I was trying to like look at it, look at the chart and see, okay, so what is indicating to me that I should enter? Okay? There's a couple of things that are missing because I didn't do any back testing, so I don't have something that tells me that's the way that I should be entering into. And plus, when I look at it, because it lacks the back testing, and I'm looking at the price action, and the thought that I have is inconclusive. And so the secondary thinking that I have is that no setup is for certain. No setup is for certain right now. There isn't anything. There's nothing that is telling me that what I'm trading has a certain probability. I haven't assigned a statistical probability to any of the trades that I have. None whatsoever. This is after making tens of thousands of trades. I have not assigned a statistical probability of a particular scenario that is occurring. Okay, I haven't done that. I haven't statistically assigned a statistical probability to a particular price action. I didn't do that. And so when I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to be very careful because I'm I'm nearing the point of daily drawdown, and I'm trying to make sure that every trade that I make counts. But when I look at it, I'm scratching my head, I'm scratching my head because nothing is certain. Okay, nothing is certain. When I look at this, nothing is certain. I cannot firmly say that when I place into this trade, I know what I'm going to get. I cannot say that. I cannot lean towards one side or the other because I don't know. Some people think they know what it is. They do this break and retest thing, and they're very, very firm about what they're doing. But for me, I'm not there yet. I'm missing. Today I realized that whenever I make a trade, I'm missing something. I'm missing the core of what a setup is. What makes up the core is missing in my trading, because all I'm taking, it's like an empty eggshell. I'm grasping onto an empty eggshell because there's no core to the foundation of the setups that I'm taking, because I am not sure. It is not something that I am sure. I have a statistical basis in order for me to make the trade. This is after this, so this is why it's so embarrassing. There is there's nothing on the charts right now that is telling me there's no concreteness. There's no I can't say for a high with a high degree of confidence. I cannot say with a high degree of confidence that any trade that I make has a higher statistical probability of winning. I cannot say that. Right now, it's worse than 50-50. The reason why it's worse than 50-50 is because I'm probably being steered into trading in a novice kind of a way when I see these things. So most likely, I am most likely in a statistically disadvantageous kind of a situation right now. But I've come to the conclusion as of this moment. I've come to the conclusion as of this moment that I am in a statistically disadvantageous position, because when I look at this setups, I'm not sure, because I'm looking at it. Okay, the price is between the support and resistance. Okay, I see how it's between the support and resistance. And then the price is nearing the support, because maybe it is support. I'm looking to the left side. Sure enough, it's telling me it's support, but I can't be sure. So I can't go with big size. If I go with big size and I'm wrong, probably, most likely I'm wrong. So it'll most likely turn out that that support is wrong. That has been confirmed to me, because when I took that trade after 4 hours of sideways action, after 4 hours of sideways action, within trading in the range, something came along to cause it to go to outside of that range bound situation, just at the point where I took a trade right after that moment. So as of today, after trading for 5 years and trading tens of thousands of times, okay, uh, it's quite embarrassing that I was like that. When I look at something, there isn't any statistical probability assignment to any of the setups that I see. And when it turns out that when I'm at the point, see, I've been on this path many times. I lost so many challenges, and towards the end, when I'm losing it, I'm very, very careful. But I haven't really made that connection between. I haven't really made that connection. What I see, is it going to turn out the way that it's supposed to turn out, the way that I imagine it? I can't do that because I haven't assigned a statistical probability for that particular setup. It's amazing. I haven't been able I am unable to statistically assign a probability number to any of these. And so when I look at it, I'm scratching my head. And the only thing that runs across my mind is, okay, there's support and resistance. So what other factors what other factors? So ultimately, it goes back into the the uh, um, the confluence. It ultimately goes back to the confluence. Okay, it essentially is getting back to the confluence of what happens when. So essentially now it's also getting back to, but now it is also back to trying to understand what these confluences are in order for me to make the decision. So when I look on the left side, I see, so it's based on, okay, so whenever I make a decision, it's based on what the left side is, right? So it's essentially what's happening on the left side is going to essentially, so it's like looking at a human being, okay? Uh, I can generally see based on looking from the back, generally figure out what the front is going to look like. I suppose it's I suppose it's very similar. So if I look at the front, okay, so if I look at the back, so so essentially it's looking at a human being. Trading is just like looking at a human being. Okay? Trading is just like looking at a human being. So when I look at a human being, there's two sides, the back and the front side. What I'm attempting to what I'm attempting to do is is look at the back to figure out what the front is. Okay? Back, look at the back. Look at the back to figure out what the front is. That's what trading essentially is. Okay? So essentially, trading is about looking. Trading essentially is analyzing the back to to determine what the front is. Right? Trading is about analyzing the back in order to determine what the front looks like. So trading is very similar. So any price that has been painted right now is the back, and so I have to look at the back, analyze the back, to see how it continues to the front to describe what the front is going to be. Now, it's not going to be 100% correct unless I am a extremely accurate professional trader. Then chances are the description that I have of the front based on what's on the back is going to be more accurate than somebody like myself, who is essentially, despite the fact that I've been trading tens of thousands of times, I'm still a novice. I'm a pro, but I'm still a novice. Okay? I'm still a novice. So, even though I am a pro. So the reality, so that's the current situation. So I have to look at the back to describe what the front is. And so I can probably use an X-ray to see what the front looks like. All right? Or maybe some sort of some means to figure out what the front is going to look like based on extrapolation of the back. Okay? So based on what I'm seeing here, on UJ, I currently have UJ. The candles are right in the middle. Okay? And it's been going sideways. It's been going sideways for roughly about 6 hours. Okay? It's been going sideways for roughly 6 hours. That means chances are, it's going to go sideways longer. So I can partially partially anticipate what the front is going to look like based on what the back is. The back is indicating to me that it is going sideways for sure. 100% correct because the data is already there. Okay? Hindsight is 2020. Okay? Hindsight. See, hindsight is telling me that it's going sideways. It is sideways. So it is going sideways, and chances are it's going to go sideways. And that then what that means is it's going to be guardrailed on from both sides. So it's a top side and a bottom side. And so when the price goes to the top side, then chances are it's going to be restricted, and the price will have to return to the bottom side. Okay, and it's going to repeat that until at a point where it breaks out. And breaking out is going to happen at a certain time when a macroeconomic event occurs to jar it away from that current predicament, right? So I was looking at it, I was trying to be very careful because I'm like at a point where I am in a drawdown, at a point where I am essentially getting close to the daily loss limit. Okay. And I just checked and I only have like what, 65 bucks left, right? 65 bucks out of the 10K account. So that means that I essentially lost about 440 bucks, 4.4% today. I essentially lost almost 4.4% today. And that happened quite a bit. That happened quite a bit because obviously the things that I've been doing is not consistent and it's not profitable. So now I can either hold off doing anything else, doing anything, and then really iron it down to assign a probability number to any situation that I have. Okay, if it's trending, one of the hardest things to do is that when it's trending up, I don't know where to get in because my thinking is that when I get in, it's going to reverse, and it turned out to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it does that. It happens quite a bit. So I'm here. I'm looking at this, and sure enough, had I gotten in there, it would have been a doozy, as the price start to. I'm looking at this gold here, and it is dropping like a rock at this moment. Because what it reached 44.93, and then it started to come back down right here. So I'm looking at UJ and UC. Yeah, I thought I knew what I was doing with UC, and then I got burned, toasted. It's like a toaster set on like really, really crispy setting. I was like, I was burnt toast essentially. It must have set off all these fire alarms. So it's quite embarrassing what my current situation is. But I need to. But that's the reality of the situation. This is the greatest moment of your life. Okay, so now now I'm getting to now it's amazing to me. I've been trading tens of thousands of times and it just never registered. It just never clicked because I've been trading by myself, all by myself, not communicating with anybody else. And now I'm something that is so obvious. Now I'm now coming to the consciousness of what's happening here. So when I look at this, I'm looking, okay, so which direction should I go? Should I go long here? This candle is at a middle point. So what happens? What are the rules? So I'm thinking about, okay, so before I take take the trade, I have to figure out what the rules are. So what is scalping? Then I thought to myself, okay, so if the candles prior to right now is doing this, what does that mean? What is it going to do, right? So there's a lot of things that are like, I suppose it's because I'm at the point where now the market, the trading market, is essentially, so how should I put it? Um, for the past 5 years, I've been, oh, the concept of the door. Yeah, what's behind the door? Okay, what's behind the door? I've been thinking about. I was thinking about this. It's called what's behind the door. What is behind the door? Okay. Okay. What is behind the door is the anticipation of what's going to happen when you open the door. Okay. When you open the door essentially the front. The front is very similar to what a human being is, right? Which is the back, and the door has certain descriptions about what it is based on the price action. And when I look at it, then I know what's inside the room based on the inspection of the door. Because the way that the market is, the door represents the price action right now. And looking at the price action, I am able to anticipate what's inside the room. So essentially, it's a varying degree of an open door. It's an open door. When I am extremely proficient in trading, the market and the price action is an open door. But when I'm a novice, the door is firmly and thickly and opaquely closed, or I am unable to see what the next candle is going to be, or the sequence of candles is going to be, because I don't know the language of the market. But once I learn the language of the market, then I'm able to anticipate what's behind the door. Right? I am able to anticipate what's behind the door based on the front of the door. Right? I think I got about a couple hours of sleep. I think that's why I messed up today. I got maybe a couple hours of sleep. It rained. It rained like for the past couple of days, and then when sleeping in a car requires the door to be ajar a little bit. And then even though I parked underneath a coniferous tree, the water started to seep in, and then it wetted the blanket, and I wasn't able to sleep more than a couple hours, and then that's probably the reason why. And I was like, oh. Anyway, so the second day of trading, and and yeah. Anyway, so essentially, essentially, looking at from this perspective, I suppose it's like I have to constantly think about it. I have to plant it in my mind of what's going on in the market, and then when I plant it in my mind processes it, connects it together to figure out what it really means, and then I come to a conclusion about what the market is telling me for myself, so that I can understand it. Uh, it's like chewing the cud. I have to chew the cud in order to understand it. So I thought about this principle of the closed door, and based on what I see from the door, I am able to anticipate what the content of the room is. Once I get really good at it, then I am able to size up and make bigger trades and bigger trades and bigger trades and become more effective. My efficacy will improve, and the risk that I take is going to be higher, and my return is going to be higher, and I'm going to be a far more effective trader. And so I can already see, in order for me to equip myself to see through the wall, through the door, seeing uh, through the closed door, I have to analyze what's going on and explain away what's happening here. So when I look at the candle, I have to ask myself, okay, so the price will probably want to remain flat, okay? But something comes along to cause the price to deviate from it, and only if it's not a permanent change to the price, it'll return. But if it is a permanent change for a period of time, then it's going to return right back. But if it's a for a period of time where the macro information is significant, it's going to be there's going to be a time delay before it returns uh, to that current price. Okay, essentially that's what it is. And so, in order for me to be effective, I have to I have to understand why these things occur. When I understand why these things occur, the information that I get from it is going to help me determine what's inside the room. What's behind the door. It's going to tell me what is behind the door. Okay? It's going to tell me based on what I'm looking at from the backside to see what's on the front side. What is behind the door?